So somebody listening to this podcast is thinking, "What's my genius?" Right? You might be a bigger age than you used to be, and you might think it's too late. It's never too late to scratch off the top coat of your genius and try to discover it and figure it out. And so a lot of times, people might call it, "What's your dream? What's your passion? What's your purpose? What's your genius?" That's kind of all synonymous, when a lot of times people don't know because they've either been in survival mode or trying not to lose capitalism, or, oh, I had these kids and so I didn't have a chance to think about this, or I had to do this. Or I always tell people, think about what you would wake up every day and do for free. That will help you start figuring out what is your passion, what is your gift. Some people would say, I would wake up and paint
I
every
think
day. I would wake up and cook every day. Like whatever the thing is that you would do every day for free, not for a living, but I would do this every single day for free. That is the beginning of figuring out where your genius lies.
I think I agree that that's an element of it. I would go even further to say, what is the thing that you do well easily? What is the thing that you do well easily?
But imagine how
We
many people
all
would say, I don't know, because they've never done it. They're like, I don't
know.
know what I do well.
I think a lot of people, they may not have done it, but there's a lot of people that have an understanding of things personally that they just don't pursue. You literally have a under it's something that you just understand, you just get it, and it's easy for you. Not everybody activates on it. Never no Not everybody takes action on it, but I do believe most people know the things that they understand easily and could possibly do well if they just did it. I just think a lot of people don't feel qualified to be able to do it because of circumstances. But there's, I, you've seen it. Haven't you seen,
Yeah,
like, the
I
people,
think I
remember
think
growing
young
up?
people especially struggle with knowing what they do well. And I think part of that is they've been so overscheduled. They didn't have recess. They didn't have time to just figure out what they do well. I
Hmm,
mean, there are so many people I've met that have no idea what they do well. Right?
hmm.
They go to their job, I go to work, I da 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 da. And it's like, but what do you love? What do you do? I don't know. I don't do anything. And it's like, that's the real heartbreak to me. It's so many levels of heartbreak in purpose. And one, if you know what it is and you choose not to pursue it, or you feel like you can't pursue it, but even more so, not even knowing what it could be. And it's always different. I have found by generation. I used to do a dream series, Living the Dream series, here at our local libraries. And most of the people that signed up for these series were older people, like a generation, like boomers. And what was interesting is I'm sitting there talking about dreams and following your dreams. And for them, that was a whole different thought process when they couldn't even go to a certain bathroom.
Yeah,
And so it changes by society's standards of what you've been convinced or socialized to believe about
yeah.
yourself, right? And so now that we have so much more exposure to so many things, like most young people, you say what you want to be, they're gonna say, I want to be a YouTube star. They're gonna say they want to be an influencer because they know it's available. But it's
And
like, influence people to do what? What do you do?
I think with that, it goes to what we do at the start of every single episode: the pause, the taking a moment to sit with your thoughts, to sit with where you are. You're not going to be able to discover these things more clearly when you're moving, when you just have a bunch of stuff going on. You're going to have to take intentional time to sit still, to collect your thoughts and put thought to paper, writing down what excites you, what interests you. And then from that list, what of those things do you understand well? Do you connect with easily? And then you'll find yourself finding a shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter list. And then you take on the very thing that continues to speak to what is natural of you. And this has nothing to do with what everybody else is doing. It is literally specific to what excites and awakens your heart, what moves your heartstrings, what makes your heart beat. And you will, if you will only find that in taking still moments. The crazy thing is, depression has a way, there's while we hate depression, we can't stand it. It actually isolates you and brings you to a place where you have nothing but your thoughts. And from that, you can actually use the information, allow it to be a gift. That this is now a time where I can sit still with my thoughts to sort through them. Oftentimes, depression just gives you a compounding of thoughts where you don't think that you need to process through them. But now that you've been sat still, take a moment. Every single person listening here, take a moment away from the noise, away from the duty, away from the pull and the responsibility. Allow your thoughts to start flowing. In the quiet, allow your thoughts to flow. Put it down on paper. These are the things that I enjoy. These are the things that I'm interested in. These are the things that I think if I had all the money in the world, I could possibly do. Now start to take true assessment. Do I understand this thing well? What comes natural to me? What speaks to me? And this you can do at any age. I love that Eunice brought up that she spoke to older people that, grew in conditions and circumstances that limited their scope of dreaming. But now that we're here, now that you've arrived at this show that is the hope in between, don't pick the eye of the impact of greatness that is simply insecure or intimidated. Because my thing is, if you see it, you can actually be it. It just takes work and commitment. Choose the eye that is inspired by greatness. Be inspired to be more than what your environment may have given. Be more than what your thinking has allowed you to think. But it starts with you getting still so that you can assess it. There is genius in all of us. I've said it before. Far too big is the sky for only one bird to fly. And oh, how beautiful is the night when more than one star shines. That means there is room for all of us to be great. And once you decide to accept that fact, you will find your wings will start to spread. Your thinking will start to inform the flight, and you will surely take off and make this world so much more beautiful.
I got something to say.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Hey, when you do get that downtime, whether it's through depression, isolation, or whatever, you got to be careful of what you are putting in your mind. And that's why it is important to consume art in various medium.
Yeah.
You want to feed your body. We were talking about being healthier and all that. If what goes in comes out. So
Yeah.
if it's doom scrolling and you taking in all the negative gossip and drama and trash.
Explain doom scrolling. Explain
Well,
that to
it's just
folks
when you
that don't
find
know
yourself
what it is.
scrolling on social media for hours, and sometimes we tend to give more attention to something that's negative or salacious or gossipy. And I'm saying, Beyonce is art. Going to the museum is art. Reading is art. And it's like
What you
those are the
put
things
in,
that will.
you get out.
That's what's going to inspire your greatness. It's not the trash. It's not that you will never go through the trash can when you decide to be healthy.
That's
But guess
it.
what? It's a lot of things that you've been refrigerating that needs to go in the trash. So a lot of things you hold in dear that you need to put in the trash
Ooh.
if you want to be healthy, physically, mentally, emotionally.
What
You
you
are
put
created
in,
to
you get
leave your
out.
gift on this planet. That is your only job, is
Yes.
to leave your gift with us. And we are not being great stewards of our gifts when we allow our weight, our color, our age, our pocketbook, our neighborhood, our man or lack thereof, anything that keeps us from leaving our gift on the planet. We are not being a good steward of said gift.
There you
That's your
have
only
it,
job.
beautiful people.
It's your only
That
job.
that that's it. That's it. That's so well put. Thank you for that, Eunice. Beautiful people. This is the hope in between. Make sure you like, subscribe, lock in with your iHeart podcast and mark us as one of your favorites. Please leave comments and let us know your thoughts in real time. Share this with about 15,000 friends.
Your
I'm just, I
15,000
just
of your closest friends. Yes,
yeah, of your
please.
closest friends, please. But I really hope that this inspired you to get into the win. And you do that by going within. There is so much treasure there. So much treasure there. We miss it when we think that the treasure is found all over everywhere else, when we neglect to see what we have stored up on the inside of us. God didn't make a mistake when he made you. He made it with great intention that this world would be a better place because you decided to show up and get in it and win it. Much love to you. This is The Hope in Between with Major and Eunice Elliott. Until next time, lock in with us, be with us, pray for us, and let's never lose our hope because hope ain't ever canceled. Peace. Love y'all.